Hi, I'm Jordan Bradford with Burkholder Wealth Management, and I'm here today with Eric Burkholder. We're going to talk a little bit about the markets
Yeah.
because, once again, we're looking at some pretty volatile markets, and
Right.
things are still relatively down, despite some recent successes in the last couple months. It seems like we're kind of back to where we were towards the end of the spring. So I thought I'd ask you a few questions, kind of get your insight on
Yeah.
what should we be thinking about right now, and are there changes we should be making?
Right. Yeah. So, obviously scary time. It's unsettling for all of us. But I think what you tend to hear when we go through these periods, you start getting the murmurs of, should we get out? Is this a time to get out, protect our stuff, put it on the sideline for a while, and get back in? Totally reasonable thought process. And really today, and for people who watch our videos, are going to say stay the course. You should be in the right risk profile, the right plan for you. But I really kind of want to draw a specific analogy, if you will, that I think people relate to. And so, the desire to get the result without going through the hard part is very common. I think when it comes to investments, in general, we're just, a lot of people aren't as financially educated. It's just a foreign concept. So those pitches tend to be more appealing and believable. But if we look at like the health industry, so either exercise or eating right, we're much more, primed to see those, too good to be true promises.
Right.
And so when someone says, and you see it all in the news all the time now, people are going to be advertising you, hey, this is the investment that won't have any losses. We'll avoid all this that's going on and just be upside, or this, go to cash now and we'll teach you when to get back in. And these all appeal to that fear and insecurity we have about some scary times. But really, these market times, they are the gym. They are the hard part. To be in good health, you got to go through some exercises,
Right.
and that's what we're going through now. And so I really want to impress upon people out there that you will not get the end result without going through periods like this, despite what everyone tells you. And like I said, I think when you see the person on TV and they say, hey, this ab machine will shock your abs and you can just sit there and watch TV and you will have washboard abs. At this point, most of us realize that's probably a pipe dream. But those things sell, and it's even more so on financials and investing because I think they're even a little bit more believable, and they appeal to that. I can't handle the hard part.
Right.
And so we just want to encourage everyone out there to think that through. You've already gone, like right now is, I think I saw the fourth worst start to the year in I think the last 50 years. So you have been exercising all year, and now is not the time to really give up on that process. The people who go through this now are going to get the reward on the other end.
Right.
The people who get out or say you can get out or say there's an easier way, that never comes to fruition. I just tell you, I've been doing this long enough, it doesn't work. And so, to kind of carry that analogy a little bit further, if you were to get out now, it would be the equivalent of like working out all year long. And then if you didn't go to the gym the last time, you didn't get any benefit for the whole year.
Yeah.
Like you were back to where you started, if not in worse shape. Right. So at least if you're working out, you're making some progress. With investing, it's, you got to carry all the way to the end to really get the reward. So
right. Yeah, it sounds like maybe the having a lot of discipline is kind of the key here, and not quickly being tempted to change your entire investment strategy and philosophy for long-term goals based on just what's happening right now and in the short term.
Right. And like I said, I mean, we don't beat up on anybody. We have those same stressors. Discipline is not easy.
Right.
Of course, we'd all want the market to be up all the time, but as we've talked about before, there would be no return. Like if it was always up,
Mm-hmm.
everyone would invest and you wouldn't get a return. Right now, sticking through these times and having discipline is the exact reason why there is a return in the market. And so, that's part of what we can provide for our clients and you out there listening is to kind of just help reassure you, talk about why markets operate the way they do. And this is actually normal. Although not fun, and if you stick with the plan and you're disciplined, ultimately you are rewarded.
There's no overnight successes, right? That's kind of a misnomer. Any overnight success you've heard of is generally someone who's worked really, really hard for a long time, and you're just finding out about them once they're successful. So I think the same is true with our portfolios. Is you don't want an overnight success because it's not real. It's not a strategy. It's luck.
Right.
Instead, you want to be in it for the long run. You want to be constantly focused on what's our long-term goals and how are we making decisions that benefit that, and not just reacting to what you see in the news this morning.
Right. Yeah. It's it's just not exciting, or you don't want it to feel like the lottery,
right? Because
that ends up actually not working out. It's slow and steady wins the race, and if you can do that, and it's not easy, and that's why we think people need help and need people alongside to get them through that. But if you can do it, the reward is in the end.
Yes.
And like you said, it's when you're retired and kind of maybe feels like an overnight success, but it's like an overnight success that was decades in the making, right? Yeah, no one sees all the hard work that went into it. So
right, but you'll know.
Yeah, exactly, and you will eventually, be rewarded and be able to hopefully retire and relax and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So anyway, we thought it just was time for a pep talk. Market's obviously unsettling. We can do another video on markets. We probably will here soon, but ultimately, just encourage you to have the right mindset and to know that this actually is part of investing. And just like exercise, we wish you could get the end result without the middle, but it's part of the process. So if you need further to talk through anything, you just let us know. We're here, and we can help you out. So let us know if you have any questions, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.